What's up, guys? My name is Caleb being Topics, and today we're going to be doing. Alright, so this video may cause spoiler alert, but also we're going to do that what happened through the whole entire season in the 3 seasons of Kickbutt. Alright, let's get started. Through the first season, second, and third. The third one is the last one. Also, thanks to the pictures of the comic in full screen, I have to thank Marvel Man TV. Thank you, Marvel Man TV, if you're watching this. It obviously shows the man in the start of the comic who tries to fly, but then gets injured and crashed on a car. Then it continues on a part where David Zuski was getting tortured by Frank D'Amico and his goons. Then he decides to go from the start of the beginning where this all happened. Alright, so David Zuski's origin wasn't exactly, wasn't exactly exciting, except for that part where his mom died from a hitman. So practically, mostly speaking, David Zuski wasn't even a class jock, class geek, or a class nerd, or a class anything really. But he was a comic nerd for like 16 years, I think. But also, he spent his almost his entire life loving superheroes like Spider-Man, Iron Man, Wolverine, Batman, and other stuff like that. But the point is that later in the comic, in this first issue, David Zuski was inspired to become the first real-life superhero. Also in the middle of the comic, David Zuski talks about his personal life, that he has a crush named Katie Duoxma, but in the movie her name is Katie Doma, and he has friends like Marty and Todd and other stuff like that. When David Zuski's mother died, he swore to avenge her. He asked his friends why nobody ever tried to become the first real-life superhero, but then they explained that it's impossible. David Zuski says that it's not impossible to put on a mask and help people, but then they just explained that if they even do it in real life, then they will just get injured and be dead in like a day. And Dave tries to explain to them, but they just don't listen to reason. Later, Dave finally decided to have the guts to actually become the first real-life superhero. As always, like any other superhero does, to keep a secret from their benefits. David Zuski spent 7 weeks on trying to create new superhero names. Pretty much, he came up with Bad Night, Nasty Bud, and Nightwalker. Pretty much. Tried to build up some muscle with a diet of red meat and fish. In the first few weeks, there wasn't a lot of crime fighting, but then Dave Zuski found some vandalism kids, or teenagers, you like to call them. Pretty much, Dave just found them, and all of a sudden, Dave Zuski just roasted the vandalisms. The vandalisms questioned him. Then, Kickbutt just started a fight that he can't get himself out of. Even though he did build up some muscle in the gym, it still wasn't enough. David Zuski tried and fought dirty, but then gets beaten to the ground. David Zuski got stabbed and hit by a car. The second issue of Kickbutt. After Dave just got stabbed and hit by a car, his dad met him in the hospital, but then luckily he didn't actually notice that he was actually trying to be a superhero. He didn't know, because even though David Zuski got hit by a car and stabbed, pretty much he found strength to lose the tights, and everybody just thought it was just another mugging. So, after a few months in the hospital, David Zuski finally healed and finally went back to school. But of course, that didn't stop David Zuski from completing his all-time dream. Dave bumps into some guy running away from some Puerto Ricans. Davidowski knows this and completely just doesn't know if he's brave or just stupid. He just randomly started to fight the Puerto Rican, literally beating them onto the ground. Of course, Puerto Ricans were tough, and they did knock Davidowski on the ground, of course, smashing a garbage can on him, but Davidowski still fought back. After the battle, pretty much the Puerto Ricans just ran away because, Davidowski won. People noticed the whole entire fight and was actually rooting for him. And a random guy just picks up his phone and just takes a picture of Dave, and sends it on YouTube. Kickbutt issue 3. The video went viral. It was immediately popular. People watched it around the world. Davidowski was now famous. And also, he finally got his name, Kickbutt. Everything's going great at him. Nobody's picking on him or anything like that. Mostly when he got bruises, people thought it was just another mugging, except this one wasn't actually rough. Later in the comic, Davidowski creates his own MySpace page to help some people with their problems. He starts out with a girl, an ex-girlfriend from Eddie Loomis in a gang, pretty much hired to tell his ex to stop prank calling her and stuff and bothering her. Dave tries and actually talks to him peacefully, but he just doesn't understand and ravagely just try to fight Dave, and Dave just pulls out a pepper spray and spraying him in the eye. Davidowski was hit by a beer glass and smashed onto the wall, and then luckily he wasn't knocked out, so yeah. And of course, Hit Girl comes to the rescue. Kickbutt issue 4. Hit Girl saves Kickbutt from being murdered by Eddie, and Hit Girl leaves without even talking to Kickbutt about who she is and stuff like that. Then Davidowski just saw Big Daddy and Hit Girl into action. After that whole thing in the night, Davidowski couldn't get the whole thing out of his mind. He couldn't sleep or eat and anything like that. So that practically bothered him. Davidowski tried to check some sightings on Big Daddy and Hit Girl, but none were found. Frank D'Amico is the crime boss and pretty much figures out that Big Daddy and Hit Girl are targeting them, and pretty much they're in trouble because none of them are safe. Try to hatch a plan, and their soldiers are getting killed. In the end, Big Daddy and Hit Girl kill another henchman, and yeah. Kickbutt issue 5. Okay, so we all know that Davidowski got famous and he's a celebrity now, but now, pretty much, there's a new superhero who is inspired by him, the Red Mist. Well, alright, so yeah, pretty much, Kickbutt has a problem with Red Mist because now people think that he actually fought the Puerto Ricans and saved that guy from a beating and other stuff like that, and that Davidowski did. Dave eventually meets Red Mist, and turns out he's just like a common nerd, just like Dave. They both see a burning building and somebody and they heard that some kid was in there and was a baby, I think. I don't know, but either way, Red Mist was too scared to go, but pretty much Davidowski was brave enough and not stand around and do nothing, so he practically just ran up there and straight up trying to save the baby. But then turns out to be a kitten. They got trapped, but then luckily the firemen finally came and rescued them. They bring the kitten to the lady. At home, Dave meets Big Daddy and Hit Girl. Kickbutt issue 6. This shows the past of Big Daddy and Hit Girl, what they went through without their mother. So practically their origins are that pretty much Big Daddy was a cop and the mom hated him so much so they killed his wife. They tried to kill him, but he escaped with his baby daughter and plotted his revenge. The only reason they needed to go to Kickbutt's house because, well, they need their help to bring down the crime boss, Frank D'Amico. They talk for a while. Big Daddy tells David his origin. Pretty much, David doesn't want to do it, but then threatens him that if he doesn't do it, then his secret identity goes all over the internet. And pretty much in the embarrassing part from the comic, David just goes in his Kickbutt costume and goes to his crush's house and says, "I've been Kickbutt all along and I'm not gay." He realized that was a bad idea, so he ran away. When Red Mist and Kickbutt went to meet Big Daddy, they see them tortured onto the ground, surrounded by men from Frank D'Amico. Pretty much, Red Mist is revealed to be the son of Frank D'Amico. And Dave was betrayed. Alright, the 8th issue of Kickbutt. So as we continued, Hit Girl and Dave and Big Daddy were betrayed by Red Mist and Frank D'Amico and got set up in a trap. Hit Girl tries to kill all the henchmen but then gets shot out of the window. Then Frank D'Amico orders his gang to bring them to the basement to torture them. They torture Kickbutt by electrocuting his testicles. I'm really sorry I had to say that, but it's true in the comic, but that's just really wrong. Just saying. Red Mist turns out to be pretty much evil. Pretty much, it was just a test run to see if he's lying or not. Pretty much, David Zizki told him anything about stuff like what's secret identity and stuff like that, but also mostly why they're targeted by Big Daddy and Hit Girl. Turns out Big Daddy's origin was just a total lie. Pretty much he was just a worker from a company and then married to a wife who hated him. He hated the life he lived, so he ran away with his baby girl and built himself a new one. The only reason he was targeting Frank D'Amico was because they needed a villain. As punishment, Big Daddy got his brains blown out for all the murder he did. Pretty much, David Zizki swears it and pretty much tells the henchmen to actually punch him like a man and kill him with his fist. They punch him a few times, then David Zizki gets up and ready to brawl. Hit Girl comes to the rescue. She was too late to rescue Big Daddy, but she was on time to save David Zizki. The final issue of the first season. Okay. Pretty much, Frank D'Amico noticed that Hit Girl and Kickbutt were trespassing their property, so now they're gonna kill them. Hit Girl uses a flamethrower to kill all of the henchmen. Kickbutt goes and finds Red Mist. Pretty much David Zizki won the battle and pretty much beats Red Mist into a fight. Alright, Hit Girl was rescued by David Zizki and kills and finishes off Frank D'Amico. Hit Girl kills all of the remaining henchmen and still was sad. In the end, she wanted to be Minnie McCready for a while. David Zizki confessed to his crush that he is David Zizki confesses to his crush that he is in love with her, but then gets rejected. Then it shows the superhero who tried to fly in the start of the comic. Alright, this is part 1 of the first season of Kickbutt, but we're still gonna do the second season. Alright, peace.